This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.
The Wolverines have won 5 out of their last 6, but they face another pesky in-state rival at home tonight. It's the Weber State Wildcats, and they had traveled all the way down here to Orem to face Utah Valley, and it's next on UVU TV.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
Hello, everybody, and a pleasant Wednesday evening to you wherever you may be. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker with you live from the UCCU Center for tonight's matchup between the Utah Valley Wolverines and the Weber State Wildcats. Holton, on Saturday, the fans got a treat to see Utah Valley bounce back from a very tough UTSA team. They were down at 12 by 1 point. After being up by 10.5, they came back, won by 8. Another tough rivalry game here tonight. What are you expecting tonight?
Yeah, I believe the Utah San Antonio game was a great experience for the Wolverines to go through. They actually went through I believe it was close to a 22-5 drought in that second half, and to have the character and the resilience to come back from that late into the second half really shows who these guys are. And tonight they're going to have another big test with a Weber State team that has already one in-state win against Utah State early on, and they've always been tough.
Well, there are key players on both sides of the team. We're going to take a look at the key players for Utah Valley. Kenneth Ogby and Akolda Manyang. We know the big fella gets things done in the post, but it seems like this team really revolves around KO.
Yeah, whenever KO gets going from the interior, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, it always opens up for him from the three-point line as well. I think it's going to be key for them to step up defensively. They have big defensive assignments, as we'll get to the key players for Weber State, but they're going to have to be able to do it on both ends tonight.
Looking at the Wildcats, you see Breckett Chapman, Jarek Harding. If you're looking at the stat lines, those two sit at the very top of every category for the Wildcats.
Yeah, these two make up half of the points almost on a nightly basis for Weber State. They're both shooting at an extremely high percentage, both from the field and the three-point line. And so that's why I mentioned with Kenneth Ogby and A.K. Manyang are going to have their hands full with them defensively.
So with that being said, we have the key players now. Let's take a look at the keys to the game for Utah Valley. Be themselves. That is very important for Utah Valley. We saw them last week against BYU not be themselves. We saw the result, and they came back, were confident on Saturday. How important are these two Utah Valley?
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you make. They tried to slow the pace of the game down, I thought, initially against BYU. Really played into their hands instead of the up and down pace that we're used to seeing UVU play. And I think keeping to that tonight will be so important because Weber State only holds their team, or holds their opponents to 65 points a game, whereas on the other side they're scoring 80. And so confidence as well on the offensive end is going to be huge to keep up with Weber.
Taking a look at the keys for Weber State. Pressure defense. We've seen Utah Valley still not be very comfortable when teams press on them very high, and they got to play team basketball, not just rely on those top two dogs that we talked about, but to get everybody involved. That's how they're successful.
Yeah, right now Utah Valley's given up almost 17 turnovers a game, and so other coaches and teams are seeing that. And so if you can get after them defensively, it leads to easy baskets on the other end, which makes your offense a little easy to execute in transition.
It's always fun when you got an in-state rivalry game. Weber State from up north coming down here to Orem, taking on Utah Valley. It's tip-off next, right here on UVU TV. You're looking live at the UCCU Center. Akolda Manyang being announced as the #1 starter for Utah Valley. The other starters are as follows: Jake Toulson, Brandon Randolph, Connor Toulson, and Kenneth Ogby. Kenneth Ogby and Akolda Manyang, those two key players that we had mentioned before we started the broadcast for Utah Valley. And for the visiting team, the Weber State Wildcats, Jarek Harding, Michael Kozak, Ryan Richardson, Breckett Chapman, and Zach Braxton. Thank you for joining us here on UVU TV. Brandon Crow alongside the handsome Holton Hunsaker. Utah Valley coming off of a big home win against UTSA on Saturday night. They were down by 12 at one point after being up by 10 at halftime, came back and won by 8. And that, of course, was again after a very difficult home game against BYU. So this is another in-state rivalry game that they have to get ready for, have to get emotionally energized and excited about. But Holton, we've gone through the stats, we've looked at the lineups, we've seen the matchups. Tip-off is seconds away. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting a hot shooting ball game. Right now, Weber State is actually 4th in the country in field goal percentage and 3-point percentage, so they don't miss a lot of shots. And so the Wolverines on the other side are going to have to be able to take high percentage shots to keep up with that level of performance, but then also defend and make these Weber State Wildcats uncomfortable, get them out of their offense, really attack the perimeter and make them dribble. That was always an emphasis whenever you play against a really good three-point shooting team, is you want to force them to dribble the ball because the percentage goes down extremely.
The Utah Valley faithful getting thunderstruck. As always, the tip will be Akolda Manyang for Utah Valley, Zach Braxton for Weber State. Akolda Manyang wins the tip for Utah Valley. Utah Valley in their home whites with the green trim, and Weber State Wildcats in their away purple and silver, looking very akin to the Sacramento Kings. Kenneth Ogby around the perimeter. Looking in low to Akolda Manyang. Manyang working on Braxton. Going to be a big matchup to watch out for tonight. Shot clock winding down. Jake Toulson's got to put something up. Just barely gets it off, and he follows it with a nice, easy layup.
And great job by the bench as everyone was yelling, shot clock as it was winding down. An excellent little scoop, kind of right-handed hook shot there by Jake Toulson.
Nice in that pass. Braxton to Chapman. There's that combination again.
Yep, and that's why they are shooting such a high percentage. They get so many easy baskets out of their offensive sets, and their level of execution we haven't seen. And it'll be tough for Wolverines to maintain their concentration defensively.
Brandon Randolph with I thought there was going to be an alley-oop. Looked like it was just a missed shot off the backboard. Here comes Weber State with the Wildcats. Kozak. Pull-up jumper just inside, rims out. Braxton gobbles up the rebound. Harding launches one from deep. Akolda Manyang gets another rebound out of his stats. Utah Valley and Jake Toulson now. Toulson to the other Toulson, his second cousin, Connor. Kenneth Ogby off the screen. Nice drive going on the left-hand side, and he gets it to fall. 4-2 Utah Valley.
Yeah, just as we mentioned pregame, Kenneth gets to the rim so well, and he seems to do it really early in ball games to get himself going and make easy baskets. And then again, as he sees the ball go through the net, a couple easy ones, he can definitely get going from the perimeter. Again, they're going to use all 30 seconds every time Weber State will in trying to execute.
Richardson with the pull-up jumper. Akolda Manyang, that will be his second rebound officially. Connor Toulson with the quick trigger from the corner. Anytime he can find the bottom of the net early, that's a good sign for Utah Valley.
Yeah, especially for Connor. Connor kind of lives and dies, I know it's so cliche, by his three-point shooting, but it really elevates his confidence in the rest of his game, not only offensively, we also kind of see his energy pick up defensively as well.
Kozak looking on Toulson, a little bit of a height mismatch. Gives way to Braxton. Braxton with the one-hand jumper from the free throw line. No good. Akolda Manyang with the block. All clean, says the official. Here comes the white and green the other way. Nice lob, inlet to Manyang, rewarding the big fella offensively for the defensive play, and we got a timeout.
Yeah, and that wasn't done by in the UT San Antonio game when AK was making all those blocks. The guards weren't rewarding him on that end, which was only going to pick up his energy on the other end of the court.
That was a very quick 3 minutes as we go into our first media timeout of the game. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more from the UCCU Center right after this. To the UCCU Center. Brandon Randolph with a quick foul out of that timeout break. There was a little miscommunication between the officials and the coaches during that last timeout. Some coaches thought that it was going to be a full timeout when it was not. And needless to say, Utah Valley still up by 7. And Weber State and Richardson will have the inbound. Braxton gives way to Richardson. A little give and go. This one deflected off of Connor Toulson, goes out of play. Utah Valley right now, Holton, playing with a little bit of more of an upbeat, kind of a looser flow, but still yet focused. Something that we haven't seen from them, honestly, in the past couple of games. Yeah, and that, is why they're off to such a great start. I believe whatever the Wolverines lead, kind of into that first 10 minutes or so of the game, things usually result in a positive way for them. As we get a personal foul here against, I believe, Beckett Chapman over the back here is we're going to get the initial missed layup from Jarrett Harding, and then you kind of see the fight for the ball. And ooh, he's choking Jake Toulson there a little bit.
Chapman with a little bit of a headlock there on Jake. And it's nice to see Jake not getting frustrated or letting him, anything get to him, as that was a little bit of a cheap scramble for the ball.
Kenneth Ogby already got two, looking for more. Again, this first time he went with the left, now he's showing off he can go to the right. Same move, same result.
An unbelievable length, and the ability to keep that ball outstretched out of the reach of the defender is pretty special.
Richardson working his way around the perimeter. Offensive foul this time. Looks like it's going to be in the paint. That one's going to go against Zach Braxton. And this will be the full-length media timeout. So Utah Valley right now with a 9-point lead, 11-2. That's where we are going to leave it as we take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
I don't think of myself as just an undergrad. Okay, so I'm a sophomore, but I'm at UVU where it's all about engaged learning. Leading a project on DNA research, I don't have to wait for grad school to get this kind of experience. As a UVU student, I guess you could say engaged learning is in my DNA.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
You're watching UVU TV.
The UVU cheer squad getting the Wolverines in the seats a little energized as Coach Pope is looking to get his team more energized in the timeout circle. Brandon Crow joined by Holton Hunsaker. Thank you for joining us here on UVU TV. Utah Valley out to an 11-2 lead early on in this first half against Weber State. Right now, Akolda Manyang making his presence known in the post. Only has 2 points. He's got a handful of rebounds and a couple of blocks to go along with that as well. Utah Valley is outscoring the Wildcats of Weber State 8-2 in the paint. And we'll see how that continues. Zach Braxton received a personal foul, offensive foul, right before we hit that timeout. So we will see that big matchup continues to be the one to be a big focus throughout the remainder of the evening. Connor Toulson gets fouled, counts if it goes, and one.
Connor does such a great job on those baseline screens of reading his defender, and most of the time his defender is always curling him or really holding tight to him from behind, which causes him to curl, which we've also seen lead to alley-oops to A.K. Manyang, but this time Connor Toulson reading his defender, able to get some contact and convert the three-point look.
Connor Toulson, who's stroking it from the cherry stripe so far this year, 84%. Sinks that first one to complete that three-point play. Utah Valley now on top 14-2. Weber State looking to capitalize. Fresh new legs results in a fresh three-pointer from Dusty Baker. And that breaks the Weber State Wildcats streak, 3:30 without a bucket. Connor Toulson bounce pass from Kenneth Abbey. That misses long. Jake Toulson there to scoop it up. Gets his own rebound, dishes it off to Akolda Manyang with the spin move and the floater.
Terrific effort by Jake and a nice find by him on the baseline, and then AK just overpowered Baker there on the block.
Baker already found one, and he finds two, his first 2 shots of the night. Back-to-back trays for 2-5.
Baker right now is shooting 43% from the three-point line and averaging nearly 1.5 per game, so he can definitely fill it up from beyond the arc.
Brandon Randolph trying to get in on the action. Akolda Manyang with the scoop and the follow.
That right there is almost an assist from Brandon. As soon as he breaks or attracts the big man from AK, throw that up off the glass and automatic offensive rebound.
Akolda Manyang scoops up his 4th rebound, 6 points and 3 blocks. It's got the makings to be one of his best games yet as a Wolverine. Connor Toulson now to Kenneth Abbey. Shot clock about 10 seconds. Brandon Randolph sets the screen. Randolph using his strength to get the shot up. Comes away short. Baker. Chapman. Braxton. And that one steps out of play. Corey Calvert, Ben Naquassa check in for Utah Valley for Brandon Randolph and Kenneth Abbey.
On that last possession, it's just so evident the impact that AK has, as Chapman thought he could take an extra step and try to create something around him, and guys just get shocked by how long he is and how much room he can cover, which ultimately made Chapman force that pass on the turnover.
Jake Toulson. Now Ben Naquassa. Corey Calvert seeing more minutes as the season continues. The drive and kick. Toulson's got to put something up. Gets blocked. Ball stripped away by Utah Valley. Still Weber State possession. Wildcats have some numbers. No foul call. I spoke too soon as Jarek Harding gets to and one opportunity at the free throw line. That foul is going to go against Ben Naquassa, his first.
Jarek Harding, all of maybe 5'11" in there with AK Manyang around, just never gave up on the play and battled and fought. Finally able to find daylight with all those arms and put one in for the and one.
Nelson checks in. Ricky Nelson for Weber State. As Harding sinks the free throw. Akolda Manyang looking to continue his deep impact. Working on Braxton. They're going to say he stepped out.
Zach Braxton may give up a few inches in length and arm, but Zach Braxton is at 250 pounds, and as AK tries to bang against him, he's going to be able to hold his ground. And so AK, I'd like to see him face up and try to use his quickness and speed to get around Zach Braxton in the post.
Isaac Nielsen sets to switch it up for Akolda Manyang. Isaac Nielsen coming off that huge double-double on Saturday. No match, however, for Brecken Chapman as he gets around Nielsen in the post. Now here comes Utah Valley on the offensive side. Jake Toolson with the drive. Got tipped by Chapman on the way up, but on the way out, got tipped away by Baker, I believe is what the call is. So that will stay Utah Valley possession. Jordan Dallas now checks in. Another big body. Ben Nikwasa. A little too hard off the glass. And Chapman comes away with the rebound. Baker sets up in the corner. 3 for 3 from distance by Dusty B.
Yeah, Baker with 9 of the Wildcats' 15 points, and he's really been the only one to get something going, as the Wolverines have done a great job of covering everyone else on the perimeter.
Jake Toolson rebounded by Baker. What was a 9-point Utah Valley lead now is only 3. Baker tiptoeing that end line, kicks it out to Chapman from distance, and we got ourselves a tie ball game, Holton.
Yeah, now you can see why we mentioned the high shooting percentage of these Wildcats. As they get open shots, they don't miss too many. And you also see why they average 10 threes per ball game.
Calvert to Nikwasa. Nice drive and dish to Isaac Nielsen with the up and under for the big fella.
What a play there by Ben Nikwasa. The entire time he could feel Jordan Dallas on his back and kept him on his back and was able to maneuver until he was able to make that wide open pass to Isaac down low.
Chapman working on Toolson with the fadeaway two-pointer. A little stutter step from Chapman to get that separation from Toolson is all he needed to sink that too. Nikwasa trying to get some room. Corey Calvert with the fake. Now he decides to pull it up. Weber State has an opportunity to take the lead for the first time. And Baker, heat check.
Rightfully so, after going 3 for 3.
Why not, right?
Being the life of the team at this point, if you see daylight cross that half-court line, why not give it a shot?
Toolson guarded heavily by Chapman with the spin move, trying to get that back towards the rim like he likes, up and under. And that's textbook vintage Jake Toolson.
Jake so patient on the block and has so much, you say, game, so many fakes, so many hesitations with his back to the basket. Extremely difficult to guard.
Nelson with 15 on the clock. Chapman, Harding in the corner. That left-handed stroke comes up short. Coach Pope signals to Corey Calvert to pull back the reins a little bit. Under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. 22-20, Utah Valley on top by 2. Jake Toolson again with the drive, yep, and under. And an official timeout. We got an injured Wildcat, I believe that is Chapman, who is limping back to the sidelines, and that's something that nobody wants to see a competitor at that high level.
It looks as though it's not an ankle. He's kind of pointed down to that his left toes area almost. So I wonder if he got stepped on or It almost looked like it happened to play before. He came up limping a little bit. You know, you never want to see anybody get hurt or injured, and especially when it's the best player or one of the best players for Weber State.
Right now, Utah Valley again on top, 24-20. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Thank you for joining us on this very brisk and chilly Wednesday evening here in Orem, Utah. Outside temperatures about 31 degrees, and that's not including the wind chill factor.
They've been spoiled for so long. It's just started to get cold on us, and it got cold in a hurry.
Absolutely. But we're grateful that basketball is played indoors. Thank you to Dr. Naismith for that invention. Right now, your stat leaders for Utah Valley, Akolda Manyang and Connor Toulson, both tied at 6. Chapman with 9 for Weber State. Baker with 8. Baker. Thank you, sir. They actually took away one of those threes, and it was only a 2. They said his foot was on the line. We want to thank our statistician, Juan. He goes by one name. And all of our hard-working crew, Mandy, our producer, working hard to give you this broadcast to you here on UVU TV, all our students. Coming out of that break again, Utah Valley outscoring Weber State 20-6. But Weber State, however, outscoring Utah Valley as far as bench points are concerned, 8-2. The score has been tied 3 times. Weber State has yet to take the lead. Utah Valley now holds on to that lead just by 4. More fresh faces in the game this time for Weber State. Riley Court checks in. Played a couple minutes against Fresno the other day. And they're going to call a blocking foul. I believe on Akolda Manyang will get the official call, which it is.
It's a tough call against AK, especially when they've been so physical against him on the other end, and so he takes kind of the stance that the officials are going to let them play a little bit and be more physical in the post, and then all of a sudden an official can confuse you with kind of a touchy call down low.
Akolda Manyang with his 4th block. Coach Pope running with his team to half court saying push, push. Ben DeQuassa going amongst the trees, comes up short. Akolda Manyang gets his own rebound, trying to get his own tip in. Still a scrum, and Weber State comes away with it. Richardson. Kozak. Court. Now Richardson again. Nelson back to Kozak. Weber State using that ball movement like you said. Holton trying to take every second away that they can of that shot clock. Pull-up trigger from distance. And I think if you'd ask Coach Pope that, they would give them that shot about 9 times out of 10.
Yep, late shot clock situation. And again, they did everything right there defensively. He just jumped up and threw in a shot.
Now Weber State tuning up some things on the defensive side as Zach Nelson sees his first minutes of action in tonight's match. Nelson puts the ball on the floor, drive and dish, kick out to Kenneth Dobby, who got fouled by Court, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3.
Yeah, Riley Court with an aggressive closeout, and his error was initially that he was, 5 or 6 feet away from Kenneth Ogby, who, when you're that great of a shooter, you never want to be that distance away from him.
Kenneth Ogby will step to the line to finish those 3 free throws. When we return after this break, Utah Valley on top by 1, 24-23, here on UVU TV.
The spirit of industry. From the first transcontinental railroad to the first department store, we've led the way. As part of the Murdoch Auto team, we're proud to carry on this tradition. That's because when we say you are the heart of our business, it's more than just a slogan. It's our commitment to the values we all hold dear with no regrets. You've got to come see why you truly are the heart of our business. Murdoch Hyundai of Linden, part of the Murdoch Auto team. Click MurdochHyundaiLinden.com.
People talk about life after college, entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
Welcome back to the UCCU Center, where Utah Valley holds a 1-point lead on top of the Weber State Wildcats. 24-23 is the score. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker with you here. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening. Right now for Weber State, we have not seen Chapman check back into the game. About a couple minutes ago, saw him limp off to the sideline. Still not into the game. Maybe Coach Ray is just giving him some more rest. Hope it's nothing serious. He didn't need any assistance walking off, just, again, paying attention to that right and the left foot pointing towards the toe area. But Kenneth Obby, before the break, got fouled by Court. Riley Court, the culprit, shooting 3, so Kenneth Obby will take 3 chances. Makes the first. And Obby makes the second. Kenneth Obby shooting 66% from 3. Not a lot of opportunities. But that right there is how you would say German wunderbar from the free throw line. He's teaching me some stuff.
What does that mean, perfection?
Wonderful.
Oh, wonderful. Because this free throw is near perfection. That 66% is not a accurate reflection of how good he is from the free throw line. He has terrific form, and it's just a beautiful stroke.
Harding putting the spin moves on Manyang. Somehow gets that to fall.
What a finish by him. Nearly an offensive foul. Is the only way he was able to keep separation was an extension of that right arm, and then just a hero kind of flip with that left hand.
Zach Nelson working on Kozak down low. Kozak leaning hard. Zach Nelson coming up short. Here comes Harding the other way. 25-27. Harding trying to tie it up. Circus play. Goes out of bounds. Manyang holding his left ankle. He's slow to get up. Walks it off as he stares down at the floor. Harding comes up with the spring in his step as well.
Yeah, you're always a little nervous when 2 guys go to the rim at that speed. You never want any injuries to come out of it, but lots of times you see a sprained ankle or you see someone step on someone else. Fortunate both guys are all right. Fortunate that's going the other way without a transition basket there for Weber State.
I think every fan in this arena collectively held their breath watching AK get up very slowly. Brandon Randolph misses that pull-up jump shot. 6:34 to play in the first half. Richardson with the giant steps. Made that look easy.
Yes, he did, and he picked that dribble up around the free throw line and able to take that Euro step around Connor Toulson, which is so hard to guard without fouling. You almost have to let him go to the rim as Connor gets to return the favor on the other end with a nice little hesitation half spin with his left hand.
Weber State still has not led in this ball game. Utah Valley will let them tie it up, but that's as close as they've got. Connor Toulson with that 2 points puts them ahead again, 29-27. Nelson with the cross court to Richardson from Kozak now. Planks off the iron. Akolda Manyang approaching, I believe that is his 7th rebound. Nice idea from Kenneth Obby. Good defense by Braxton. Nelson with the hard attack at the rim. Brandon Randolph trying to push it back the other way. Connor Toulson with the lob to Akolda Manyang with the flush.
Nice find by Connor Toulson. Everyone else in the gym wanted the alley-oop dunk, but AK not initially ready for it. Smart move by him of not trying to force the alley-oop, just came down with it and flushed it home.
Braxton does not like to shoot that 3. He won't take it. Gives way to Nelson. Drives by Kenneth Obby. Kick out Kozak, top of the key. Planks off, but Harding's there to scoop it up. That's a mismatch. Harding on Manyang. Harding using his athleticism in the air. Cannot find the net. And a rebound and a reset for Utah Valley, who have a 4-point lead with 4:45 to go in the first.
A fortunate break right there for UVU as Weber State got the mismatch they wanted off of that offensive rebound and not able to finish it.
Brandon Randolph giving away to Akolda Manyang. The doctor is in. Akolda Manyang right now, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks. A man possessed here in the first half for Utah Valley.
In less than 15 minutes of play.
No kidding. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Braxton trying to flex his muscles on Manyang. Gets the foul. That'll be Akolda Manyang's second personal. Sends Braxton to the free throw line. That's going to take us to another media timeout. We're going to take a quick pause. We'll be right back with more action. Utah Valley on top by 6 here at the UCCU Center on UVU TV.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight. You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings. Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quade? See ya! Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
You're watching UVU TV.
Utah Valley on top, 33-27 here at the UCCU Center. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Thank you for joining us here on UVU TV. Just a little bit less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Weber State right now, no field goals in the last 2.5 minutes. Akolda Manyang, a couple of back-to-back dunks on the offensive side to put him first player on both sides in double digits, 10 points. 5 of 6 from the floor, 7 rebounds in 12 minutes, and might I add, 4 blocks.
It's quite the stat line, and even more importantly, just 1 foul. He's going to be in the game. That last foul call they gave to Connor Toulson as he kind of came down and helped. So hopefully, even though we see AK taking a break right now, and a well-deserved break, it's not because of foul trouble, which we saw hurt him against UT San Antonio the other night.
Braxton misses the first free throw. Braxton, the 6'9" junior from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, misses both free throws as Jake Toulson skies up for that rebound.
And so far this first half, the Wolverines have done an excellent job of taking care of the basketball. They only have 2 turnovers right now. Again, something we saw the other night really hurt them down the stretch.
Solid defense by Weber State against Jake Toulson down low. Jake going to the fadeaway. This one tipped out right into the hands of Harding and the Wildcats. Braxton, Baker, he's got a pair of threes, dishes off to Harding. Harding, no fear, loves driving to the lane no matter who is there. Got a little contact, no call, but got the bucket.
He's an amazing finisher and does a great job of using his body and length to gain separation. Only 6'1". We've seen him finish against AK and Isaac Nielsen already.
Ben Nikwasa, Connor Toulson. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lob inside, can't find Isaac Nielsen. They're going to call a foul on Dusty Baker with a reach.
Wildcats are going to get a big boost here as we see Chapman check back into the ball game. First time since around that 10-minute mark when he went out with a hurt left foot, so it seemed. But he's out there now. Doesn't seem to have a limp in his step, so maybe he got things taped up and fixed.
Referees having a discussion. They're going to reset the shot clock as that ball bounced off the iron and went in the air before Jake Toulson was fouled. Brandon Randolph to inbound. Connor Toulson trapped in the corner. Jake Toulson. Kenneth Abbey. Randolph with the screen from Manyang. Randolph spots up for three. Yes! Brandon Randolph puts the Wolverines on top by 7 now.
And a rare sighting by him of not hesitating. Sometimes he's so great at getting everybody else involved within their team, within their offense. It's so nice to see him being aggressive for himself a little bit.
Rejects Braxton for his 5th block. See if they reward him on the offensive side. They give it down low. He wants to go to work. Manyang getting double teamed, still has possession. Kenneth Abbey in traffic, and they're going to call a blocking foul. On who? Braxton. So we see Manyang give way to Kenneth Abbey, and there's KO with the drive in between the trees, and he hit Braxton and went straight backwards.
Braxton, you would think he's part of that hot performing Weber State football team right now.
Well played. .20 on the shot clock for Utah Valley. Randolph to inbound. Give right back inside to the big fella. Look at that poise and control. 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 blocks.
What a catch by AK down low with literally 3 defenders around him. Able to, as you said, control himself and find the balance to not only catch it, but finish the basket.
Chapman with those fresh legs. Another block by Manyang, number 6. Somebody call Run DMC. We got a block party here at the UCCU Center. Brandon Randolph can't find the rim. 38-29. A buck and some change to go here in the first. Harding in trouble. Finds Baker. Baker with a nice dish. Number 7. Oh, buddy. Kenneth Abbey throw it down for Utah Valley. And that one sends this crowd into a frenzy.
All things going right for UVU right now is AK Manyang is literally a defensive wall down there, blocking everything thrown up at the basket.
He wants to swat anything that goes in the air. Another rebound, make that number 8. He's almost gonna have a double-double here in this first, almost has a triple-triple in the first half. Utah Valley now, shot clock is off. Game clock at 6. Kenneth Abbey for 3. And that will end the half. Utah Valley exploding. 43-29. Kenneth Abbey and Akolda Manyang both 12 points. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to try and cool off just for a second here at the UCCU Center. We'll be right back after this.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight. You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings. Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? See ya! Right at it, right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
You're watching UVU TV.
The UVU dance team out there showing off their moves. Utah Valley showing off their basketball skills on the same hardwood floor. Right now, the Wolverines on top of the Wildcats, 43-29. Brandon Crow alongside Holden Hunsaker here with you at the UCCU Center. Man, that last 5-minute stretch, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. We saw a little bit of everything. 3-point shots going in, block shots everywhere by AK Manyang, and then also him getting rewarded on the other end with seeing dunk after dunk for a stretch there.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick look at those first half highlights. Connor Toulson got Utah Valley going off early with a 3-pointer. Akolda Manyang, there you see his first 2 points after that feed from Jake Toulson. Dusty Baker, there was that 2. Then he hit another 3 right after that. But Manyang, again, you see him just doing work all day long in the post in that first half.
Yeah, here's one of the rare baskets there by Chapman early. Ended up hurting his foot early on in that second half, but it was the Dusty Baker show as he gets that 3, and then an assist there for Weber State in that first half.
Harding showing off some skills as well, creating that space against Akolda Manyang. And here's one of Manyang's 2 dunks in that first half. Here's the second one with emphasis, hanging on that rim. Kick out, Brandon Randolph, again, a rare 3-pointer, but when he's on, he's on. And Kenneth Abu with the exclamation point to end that first half. Again, Utah Valley on top, 43-29, and they're showing off virtually everything we thought this team would be this season. It seems like they're finally starting to blossom into it right now.
And we see why they've emphasized AK Manyang's play so much, is because he gets everything going for them defensively, offensively. He adds such a layer of protection on the defensive end where these guys can get out and pressure a little bit. And then obviously you can see how he protects the rim and covers errors on that end of it as well, and which turned into fast break points for the Wolverines.
Utah Valley blossoming on the court right now, but Utah Valley blossoming elsewhere on campus. And one of those highlights is the Roots of Knowledge Expo here at Utah Valley University.
Idea is, to have an interactive art experience, and as you look at it and say, why can't I change the world as well? Why can't I do that? And that's what we are hoping.
We've created mind maps, just written down everything, kind of separated it into different eras, different timelines.
So I get a sketch and convert it into the Photoshop version by taking photos of different images, meshing together all kinds of different things into one window, a panel.
Once we have that design the way that we like it, we go through with Illustrator and create lead lines and piece out the glass that we'd like to, and take them into the painting room where all of our artists, we can sit down and paint the image that needs to go in those pieces. We have light tables that we can see the window without putting it together. We'll go through and tweak that, and then we just build it and put the lead around each piece and put it together.
As Tom and Cameron and the other artists at Holdman Studios were working on these windows, they would give us a concept art drawing, and they would then get feedback from the scholars on the team about things that might be missing, things that needed to be changed, were they inaccurate, and so we would give them feedback on developing the concept of each window.
There's a tremendous richness to all of the panels that Tom has developed. One that I feel a particular affection for is the panel that covers the late 1700s. Of course, central to the frame then is the signing of the Declaration of Independence. There's a famous moment at the end of the Constitutional Convention where Ben Franklin looks up and they've got the draft of the document there that they're ready to ratify, and George Washington, who'd been stoically presiding over the proceedings, was sitting on a chair that had a sun on the top arc of the chair. And Ben Franklin famously said, "I've been watching the back of that chair this whole proceedings, and I've wondered, is that a setting sun or a rising sun?" And today, with the work that we have produced, and as I look to the future, I'm absolutely convinced that the symbol is that of a rising sun. So I told that story to Tom. He loved the story, and he said, "You know, we've got this famous image of Ben Franklin sitting at the drafting table of the Declaration of Independence." Well, that's not exactly where the chair was, but he's worked the chair in. It's got the rising symbol sun in it. It's not pure history, it's artistic, creative history, but it's got the details that I think will interest students. But it goes well beyond the founding fathers. So we have an image of the fourth emperor of the Qing dynasty, Kangxi. We have a Japanese incense burner from the Edo period. There's an image of Mary Wollstonecraft, a famed Enlightenment feminist figure and philosopher. There's something there to engage almost every mind and subject of interest. Roots of Knowledge is nothing less than an attempt to highlight the most important advances in human understanding from all over the world. Little wonder then that we started getting international attention with invitations to pack up and ship some of the windows to places like New York, Oxford, and London.
The General Society was founded in 1785 by the skilled craftsmen of New York City, artisans who represented 22 different trades. The Society is also home to our Locke Museum, which is currently housing the exquisite stained glass exhibit, Roots of Knowledge. We hosted over 400 people who came to see the exhibit here in New York City. And I enjoyed standing by to hear people's reactions. Of course, very discerning New Yorkers that would approach it kind of curiously, but by the end of it, people were turning to each other. We're going to have to buy plane tickets to Utah Valley now to see the rest of this exhibit.
Visitors have just been astonished. They literally stop in their tracks, and then immediately they're drawn in to the details. All of us, as Tom Holdman says, speak different languages, but there really is a universal language in art.
Welcome to Christ Church, established in 1546. We have the opportunity here to see for one day between New York City and London these panels of stained glass.
Well, I think it's a phenomenal project. Clearly there's an enormous amount of work and a lot of thought gone into it. I think it's truly inspirational.
The wealth of detail which you can see is just amazing. If you look in every corner of the image, you can find extraordinary scenes, people, things going on. You've no idea what it is, and you just want to go and look closely to find out what on earth it is.
It's comparable to the great schemes of medieval glass in the great cathedrals. And as I said to Tom earlier, when he says, oh, it took 12 long years, well, in the Middle Ages, it would take somewhere between 25 and 50 years. So I think he did really well.
It's one of those things I think you'll have to come back and look at several times, if not, continually, really, to fully appreciate it. It's too much of a bite in one go, I think, to take in.
a beautiful, very special array of art here inside the hall. We are extremely honoured tonight that the Holdham Studios from the US have brought an example of their roots of knowledge. It's a major stained glass piece of work destined for the Utah Valley University Library, and it's extraordinary imaginary images to depict humanity's contributions to the pursuit of knowledge throughout recorded history.
It's really exciting because it combines really traditional techniques that have been practiced since the medieval period, painting on coloured glass and leaded together, with also new materials, and I've noticed various parts in the window which kind of hark back to the American opalescent glass that people like Tiffany made famous in the 19th century and still very popular in America and across the world today. My specialism is particularly in stained glass of the 19th century, and I think that's partly why I responded so well to this project, because the ambition is certainly on a scale that hasn't been tackled really, I think, since that period, if I can say that, and hopefully haven't offended all contemporary artists.
We have a number of renowned stained glass artists from the UK here at the art fair, and it's been wonderful to see them over the past few days coming in here and actually looking at the work of a fellow stained glass artist. And it's a great homage to Holdman Studios that stained glass artists will peer review the work and consider its beauty.
I would say this is the biggest project which is contemporary I have experienced through my naked eyes. So I find that I think this is a historical project.
The City of London's 2,000 years old. I don't think it's seen anything like this before. So it's hugely exciting. And the university, I know, will cherish it, love it. And of course it will bring it right back to its original roots here. So it's a right hands across the seas exercise, this. And my goodness, a thing of beauty. And a thing of beauty is going to be cherished forever.
What thrills me most about these windows is that not only are they a brilliant manifestation of engaged learning, they are a powerful reflection of all of UVU's core themes. As one Oxford scholar put it when he saw several of the windows which had been on display at a public event at Christ Church College, "This is brilliant. Students will stand there staring at these windows. It will get them excited, and then they will turn around 180 degrees and march right up into the library to start learning more." We believe this will happen, and we believe it will happen for students of all ages. The Roots of Knowledge windows are only sitting here behind these curtains today because a number of remarkable individuals recognized the beauty, the grandeur, and the potential of this project, and then they did something about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a note of thanks to so much support from so many outstanding individuals today. Okay. The audience want to help us with a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the UCCU Center, where Utah Valley has a commanding 43-29 lead over in-state rival Weber State. That first half was a giant exclamation point by Akolda Manyang. Finished that first half in just 15 minutes of play. 6 of 7 from the floor, 8 rebounds, 12 points, and they did change one of the blocks. They gave credit to somebody else. So only 6 blocks, only 6 blocks in that first half.
I think I had 6 blocks in my career, maybe. Yeah, AK has been able to do it all on both ends of the court, and you know, a lot of the productivity that he sees, he's the recipient of either Brandon or Ben, or now has a lot of times been Jake Toulson driving to the basket. And between AK and Isaac Nilsson, they do such a great job of moving off of penetration and getting to open areas, which makes it easy for them to deliver balls when AK is ready, and he ends up finishing those off.
Chapman, Harding. Now down low to Braxton. Kick out. Long three by Richardson. Akolda Manyang. 9 rebounds. One shy of a double-double. Let's see how Utah Valley comes out and starts the second half, because they finished that first half blistering. I mean, you could have put your hands to the TV monitor or computer monitor as Akolda Manyang finishes at the rim. You could have put your hands to the hard court and you could have been kept warm by how hot they were playing. And I just completely butchered that phrase. Utah Valley on top, 45-29. Harding working on Randolph, now Kozak. Braxton down low. Another kick out, long distance connection. Here comes Connor Toulson with the break. Kenneth Dobby from the corner. Rimmed out.
Excellent find in transition. Connor Toulson able to get all the way to the paint and then have the poise and presence to see Kenneth Dobby open in that corner.
Chapman. Harding with the drive, fearless, left-handed floater. He breaks this scoreless drought heading into that halftime break. Weber State had not scored in the last minute and a half. Give or take another minute and a half, so the last 3 minutes before that floater from Harding. Manyang doing work, big fella, give me some. 14 points.
That time AK able to use his speed and athleticism to get by Braxton. We saw a lot of times in the first half where he tried to bang and back his way into it. That time he just ripped the ball right through and able to get by him for the basket.
Harding spots up from the top. Akolda Manyang has his double-double. 16 points and 10 rebounds. And we still have a whole half to play. Brandon Randolph slices and dices his way to the rim a little too hard. And he houses back on defense. Chapman racing down with the pull-up from Richardson. Connor Toulson in transition. That one rims out. Frantic pace from both teams at the moment. Harding. Richardson. 0 for his last 4 from distance.
Braxton trying to bring some type of life to this Weber State offense with that hustle play all the way out well beyond the NBA 3, and then rewarded for his effort off that pick and roll from Harding.
33-47 now, Utah Valley on top, 16:40 left to play in the ball game. Utah Valley in their home whites with the green trim. Connor Toulson drives at the rim. Weber State with their purple and white. Richardson comes off of the screen, and he'll pull it up. Blocked by Toulson. Akolda Manyang, big fella running the floor. Connor Toulson from the corner. Give him all 3 of those. Connor Toulson. Tack on 3 more for Utah Valley, 50-33.
What vision by Jake to not only see Manyang running the court, saw that he had fell, and found Connor Toulson on the other end, and we see Braxton kind of grabbing at that right ankle Achilles area, and he comes up limping.
That'll take us to a full media timeout, 50-33. That's our first big timeout here of this second half. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more on UVU TV.
We need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become?
No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests,
From award-winning business
and STEM to performing arts programs, there's a place for you. A place for you.
a place for you at UVU.
A place to engage, to rise,
to succeed,
to become.
You're watching UVU TV.
The Utah Valley cheer team cheering on their squad as they are up 50-33 over in-state rival Weber State. Utah Valley trying to avenge that loss that they had last year up in Ogden. Utah Valley fell 93-85 last year, and they are leaving no doubt on the court at the moment.
Yeah, and this series has really been a battle of the home court. Neither team has lost when playing this one at home, and you can see why with the energy that Wolverines have brought tonight. And I don't know if it's that 45-minute drive between to the game, but Weber State not able to get anything going with their hot shooting that they've done so far this season.
Harding guarded by Toulson. Cuts all the way back to Kozak. Kozak's going to spot up for his own. Connor Toulson skies up for the rebound. A little bit of a slower pace at the moment for Utah Valley, trying to run some clock maybe. Isaac Nielsen now in the game for Akolda Manyang. Jake Toulson passes up a jumper. Connor Toulson. A little different defense now for Weber State, forcing Utah Valley to milk the shot clock. Brandon Randolph for his second three-pointer of the game. Cashed it in, B-money.
That one from NBA range. Again, no hesitation as he caught that one, went directly up into a shot, and both of those have resulted into the bottom of the net.
Baker, who has a couple threes in his pocket tonight. Nice pass down low to Kozak. Isaac Nielsen. Bump, set, and spike. Isaac can't come up with that pass. Trying to reward the big fella on the offensive side. We saw him win the conference social media top play of the week last week because of his volleyball spike, and he got another one, LeBron-esque, coming from behind at the rim.
That one really stealing a dunk from Weber State on that last possession and never giving up on the play as Isaac on that last possession there offensively. The guys wanted to reward him so bad and missed him on the initial break.
Harding continues to be the spark plug on offense for Weber State. Very strong left hand off the glass. Nice pass, Toulson to Toulson.
That's set up by play after play, dribble weave after dribble weave, and it's easy just to get caught into the motion defensively, and that time they got Baker sleeping.
Chapman drives, Isaac Nielsen there to contest. Chapman too strong on that one. A little less than 14 to play from the UCCU Center, 55-37. Utah Valley looking to make it a 20-point lead over their rival Weber State. Ben Nikwasa with the drive and the floater. Isaac Nielsen with the putback.
Isaac just always seems to be around the rim. If that's getting defensive boards or being able to get a hand on the ball to put one back in, that time around the rim, able to get the putback done.
15 on the clock. Baker in the corner. Nice bounce pass to a wide open Kozak. Randolph with the rebound. Toulson with the drive. Gives to Isaac Nielsen. Isaac Nielsen swatted away by Chapman. 20 on the shot clock. Randolph stutter step. Nikwasa. Harding pickpockets him. Weber State on the attack and one. That foul's going to go against Ben Nikwasa.
It's really the only easy basket besides that last Chapman layup Weber State's been able to get to. Again, as we've mentioned a couple times during the broadcast, they're currently sitting 4th in the nation in field goal percentage and three-point percentage, but this Wolverine team came out tonight ready to defend, now holding Weber to only 36% shooting from the field, only 25% from that three-point line, so they're doing their job defensively, as we mentioned pregame.
Ricky Nelson, the freshman, steps to the free throw line. And he sinks it on the season, 63% free throw shooter. Again, not as many opportunities. Speaking to a former guard, got to make sure I reference that.
Especially early on in the year, those numbers can get inflated, you know, these percentages anyway.
Connor Toulson with the drive, poked from behind. That was Harding with the quick hands. 13 on the shot clock for Utah Valley with a 17-point lead over the Wildcats from Weber State. Randolph to inbound for the white and green. Toulson, Ogby. Screen from Manyang. Kenneth Ogby getting fouled in the act.
I believe they're going to give this one, at least the outside officials say it was on the pass, and the official just indicated that it is on the baseline, as the Wolverines have done a great job of getting AK involved on the roll, and it does look like at that last second, KO tries to reach around to get that ball to AK Manyang.
Kenneth Ogby. A defensive switch up. Ogby with the drive.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to call a foul on Weber State, Ryan Richardson. They're going to call a push as well.
Yeah,
that'll be his third person.
Under the basket, kind of with his hands outstretched, like, what did I do? I thought that call was going to be on Chapman down low on that offensive rebound attempt by AK. But I think Richardson got Kenneth Ogby at the end of that play as he was heading out of bounds. And again, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that German word, but hopefully I jinxed it there.
Wunderbar. Kenneth Ogby makes the second. Brings his point total now to 13 on the evening. Harding, you leave him open, he'll take the shot. He's been consistent, just barely misses on that one. Defensive switch up on the inside. They're going to call an offensive foul on Akolda Manyang. Chapman used his body well.
Yeah, the official indicating that he extended his arm there on that post feed. Tough, as the Wolverines had a wide open dunk there to close out that possession. And Wolverines were still on top by 18, 58-40. And this takes us to our 12-minute media timeout.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you can jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It's about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It is fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
You only need to answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from award-winning accounting to marketing and entrepreneurship programs, there's a place for you at Utah Valley University. A place to engage, to rise, to succeed, to become.
You are watching UVU TV.
Utah Valley on top of Weber State, 58-40. About 12 minutes to go here in the ball game. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker joining you from the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah on UVU TV. Thank you for joining us however and wherever you are. We hope you're having a pleasant and wonderful Wednesday evening. Akolda Manyang right now is the leading point scorer for both teams. That was rejected by Connor Toulson. Connor Toulson's second block of the year. Corey Calvert misses the layup. Here comes Weber State on the attack. Nelson wants revenge. Misses that one. AK Manyang with the cradle and grab. Looking like a tight end out there. My goodness.
What a catch. And what
one-handed.
Back-to-back defensive plays by Connor Toulson at the rim.
Who would have thought? 15 on the clock. Harding with the stutter step. Just barely gets by Brandon Randolph. He's deadly.
Yeah, that's tough, and he's so shifty with his movements there and kind of caught Brandon Randolph off guard as you can get surprised with some of those left-handed shots you're not used to defending.
Akolda Manyang going to work in the post, gets fouled. And Chapman comes up lipping again. Very gingerly on that left foot. Manyang will go to the line to shoot two.
And right now, Weber State just does not have any match for AK Manyang. As soon as Braxton went out of the game, and it looks like he's going to get ready to sub back in here. The Wolverines went on another run that Weber State just didn't have the answer for defensively. And AK Manyang continues to add to his double-double here tonight.
Akolda Manyang approaching 20 points right now, 19, 9 of 10 from the floor. Nice dish to Braxton. And that was not a foul on Akolda Manyang. I believe that will go against Connor Toulson, which it will. Manyang, who's 4 blocks shy of the school all-time single game record of 10, was thirsty for another one. But Connor Toulson beat him to the punch.
And on that play, Braxton getting a little tired of getting blocked by AK and aggressively attacked the rim and couldn't get the dunk to go down. And he continues to struggle here tonight from the free throw line.
Makes the second. Through the first 7 games coming into this one, Braxton with a 70% free throw percentage. Jake Toulson feeding Akolda Manyang in the post. No shot, but there will be a foul on the floor against Braxton. That'll be his 3rd personal foul.
And you can see how physical Braxton is down low as AK again trying to bang with him and set up his move. Braxton just immovable down there in the post.
Make that number 4.
And just like that, attacking his foul issues and foul trouble down low, that'll make a quick exit for Braxton there, who spent some time on the bench with an injured left foot, and he kind of goes off hobbling. But Chapman, not used to playing the 5 position, listed here at 6'9", 215, good against
Akolda Manyang. My goodness. Hello, everybody. Man.
AK trying to get a little flashy with that one as he kind of gave the Jordan pose to that one at the end as he kind of put those legs out and
He had a tongue
I didn't
out.
see the
did.
tongue.
He had a little tongue. 20 seconds on the shot clock for Weber State. Utah Valley still with that 20-point cushion. Less than 10 to play in the ballgame. Akolda Manyang guarding Dusty Baker on the perimeter. Chapman gets the step on Toulson. Manyang skies Baker with the three.
The shot is so simple. There's little movement to what he does with his stroke. He always catches it ready to shoot, and as soon as it hits his hands, you blink and that ball is gone.
Double teamed is Manyang. Connor Toulson now. Ball movement all over Utah Valley. Kenneth Dobby with another two-handed slam.
And you almost want to give AK credit for that dunk as he was able to seal out his defender on the block and create that lane for Kenneth Ogby. But a nice finish nonetheless by Kenneth Ogby on the dunk.
Chapman wide open. Manyang statting the pads, past the stats.
And Weber again just ice cold tonight, not able to get anything going. I guess they're missing that weather in the Bahamas from that initial tournament they did early on in the season.
Kenneth Dobby with the drive, kicks out to Jake Toulson. Brandon Randolph. KO almost with the putback, gets the rebound. Connor Toulson, yes! Open up the top, pour it in.
Everyone getting involved, and then we're gonna get a quick turnover as Brandon Randolph noticing Chapman not paying too much attention on that outlet pass, and you can see the entire demeanor of this Weber State team with 8 minutes left. You kind of feel that they don't have much life left in them as they begin to fold here in the second half.
Zach Nelson to Jake Toulson. Probably the most lively of crowds Utah Valley has had with them tonight, really getting into it. The Wolverines putting it on the hard court. Brandon Randolph slicing and dicing his way for two.
Brandon's so quick with his dribbles, and he's so strong and explosive. If you get any type of dead feet, he'll explode by in a second.
Dusty draws the foul on Jake Toulson. That will send us to another media timeout. Utah Valley on top right now, 70-46. We'll be right back with more from the UCCU Center here on UVU TV.
Answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life.
No matter your interests.
From award-winning music to acting.
To theater programs.
There's a place for you. A place for you.
A place for you at UVU. A place to engage.
To rise. To succeed.
To become.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become? It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you. Place for you at UVU. Place to engage, to rise, to succeed.
To become.
Utah Valley on top, 70-46 from the UCCU Center. Brandon Crow alongside Holden Hunsaker with you on UVU TV. Right now, everything is going Utah Valley's way. Utah Valley is on a 7-0 run over the last minute and 40. And again, your big leader, no pun intended, Akolda Manyang, 10 of 11 from the floor for Utah Valley, 1 of 2 at the stripe, 13 rebounds, 21 total points, and 6 blocks. Weber State with the inbounds. Richardson, Dusty Baker. Splash zone, the pride of Orange County.
And again, his shot, as soon as you get any window of opportunity, you see quick pass and stolen away here by Dusty Baker.
Connor Toulson comes away with it. Got numbers on the other side. Randolph, pull back, step back. 3-jack. And he is pumped up. Clenching his fist, screaming out loud. 72-49.
That's Brandon's third 3 of the ball game here tonight. He's really been the floor general, orchestrating everything offensively for these guys and always pushing in transition.
Chapman gets that one to fall. We thought during that break we discussed maybe Akolda Manyang's night might be over, but he's going to check back in one more time. 6 minutes into change. Zach Nelson does work, but gets rejected by Chapman. Here comes Dusty Baker. Left-handed jumper from the corner, and that's Harding's specialty.
Yeah, Harding finally getting one to fall for him. He's had about 2 or 3 that have just lipped out off that front rim, but you can still kind of see the demeanor of this Weber State team, just a little too late.
About 12 on the clock. Randolph coming off the screen, thought about giving it away to Nelson. Kenadogbe gets tripped up, ball gets loose. That'll be Weber State's basketball as Dallas checks back in for Weber State. Mark Pope trying to play that body-on-body matchup. Jordan Dallas, 6'10" sophomore, from Long Beach. The pride of the 2-1-3. Akolda Manyang trying to come in and do some work as Chapman does work. That left-handed stroke looking like Tayshaun Prince in his heyday.
Excellent little foot fake and step back jump from him, as he's so good about getting to the rim. That's very hard to guard because you have to respect that foot fake so much. AK Manyang hasn't finished his job tonight as he continues to work in that post, and that time finishing with his offhand on a left-handed hook shot from him in the post.
23 points for AK Manyang. Richardson, cross court to Baker, guarded by Ogbe. Runs by him, gives way to Harding. Another rebound gobbled up. Randolph a little upset that his coaches told him to hold up. He wanted to push that tempo. This is probably the most fun that you can tell this Utah Valley team has had this season as Randolph gets blocked from behind. Then he steals it from behind. They'll wait for his teammates to walk back on the other side of the stripe. 74-56, Utah Valley on top very comfortably with 4 minutes left to play. Ball game. Dallas, Manyang, mano on mano. 25 points for the big fella.
Making it look easy against this Weber State team, who, again, only giving up 65 points a ball game and forcing teams to shoot less than 40% from the field. The AK tonight only missed 1 shot so far.
Dusty Baker, another heat check. And another rebound for the big fella.
UVU now just kind of letting the clock play in their favor as last few possessions, just holding it from the outside, and then we'll go into a little bit of a dribble weave action just to kill the clock.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Jake Toulson with the runner, and he gets it with seconds to spare. Jake Toulson got Akolda Manyang running behind. Off the backboard, Connor Toulson thought Akolda Manyang was going to be there. Dusty Baker came in. Baker with the no-look. Scrum on the floor. Jump ball's the call. Possession arrow in favor of Utah Valley. And that will take us to our final media timeout of the ball game. Utah Valley on top again, 78-56. We'll be right back on UVU TV.
When I was hired as the new coach at UVU, I knew that if we were going to win games, we'd have to have fans in the seats. I'm not much of a marketing guy, but I have some friends that know a thing or two about it.
All right, Coach. This is all about face-to-face interaction. That was actually pretty good. If this whole basketball thing doesn't work out, you should give me a call.
If you're looking to earn money this summer, stop by the Vantage marketing booth on the concourse during our games or visit choosevantage.com.
On the field,
in the pool,
on the court.
We wear our game faces under the lights.
But sometimes our toughest opponents aren't wearing a uniform.
Instead, we confront them internally.
Mental illness affects 1 in 4 adults in the United States.
And suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students.
If you or someone you know is fighting a silent battle,
please speak up and ask for help.
You are not alone.
You're watching UVU TV.
Utah Valley on top by 22 with 2:39 left to play in the ball game. Looking ahead through this weekend for Utah Valley, they will travel to California to take on Cal State Fullerton. And then next week they'll come back, play Bethesda, and then they'll travel to Hawaii.
Not a bad
way.
Winter break.
Are you going to that one?
I don't know how I can wiggle my way into that one. I haven't quite received the call up yet.
Then on the opposite side, the shot clock winds down. 10 for the Wolverines. Brandon Randolph wheeling and dealing his way in the paint. 2 seconds. Nakwasa, talk to me, Joey. Gets it to fall.
I'm really impressed with Ben Nakwasa's play this season. He doesn't try to do anything outside of the offense, anything outside of what he does well, and does a great job of getting other people involved and uses his body well in the lane and is a terrific shooter.
Isaac Nielsen going to get called for the foul. Right now, Weber State in a drought. Their last 3.5 minutes with no buckets. And a slew of fresh legs, fresh bodies comes in for Utah Valley. Randolph, Connor Toulson, Ben Nakwasa, Isaac Nielsen check out. Coming into the game now, Richard Harward, Jonas Tavanainen, Daniel Nyman, and McKay Johnson. A full fresh set of 5 as the starting 5 and other subs for Utah Valley get a standing ovation here at home.
Always fun to see this group get time, as they probably know Weber State's offense just as good as they do now after going through a week of preparation and running scout team, and that first group all up on their feet trying to cheer these guys on and hope one of them throws in a shot.
Johnson gets fouled. McKay Johnson and Daniel Nyman, a couple of the transfers that Coach Pope was able to pick up in the offseason. Johnson misses the first. McKay Johnson from Centerville, Utah, the pride of Viewmont High School. And his counterpart, Daniel Nyman from Highland, Utah, come from Snow College. Johnson, of course, coming from Salt Lake Community College, or as the locals call it, Slick. Four and a half minutes for Weber State without a point. Nelson driving. Harward trying to get that rebound, and he does. Harward, the true freshman from just down the road here in Orem, Utah. That pass is off of court and will stay in Utah Valley possession. Looking ahead for Weber State, they go up to Salt Lake on Saturday and take on BYU in the highly debated Beehive Classic that Utah Valley was not invited to. We won't dive into that topic. If you want to listen to that, listen to the local radio shows.
And the Beehive Classic, something they put on for the past couple years. We get Daniel Nyman for three. The entire bench erupts there, and rightfully so, is everyone feeling good tonight for these Wolverines and getting a chance to get on the scoreboard.
Welcome to D1, Daniel Nyman, and welcome to the Richard Harwood Block Fest. And that'll do it as Coach Poe pulls back the reins one last time. Utah Valley victorious over Weber State. Big time, 83-56. Wolverines are all smiles as they head to the bench to greet their teammates. And we'll take a quick break to reset, and we'll be right back to give you the highlights and wrap things up here from Orem, Utah.
You're watching UVU TV.
Taylor Swift serenading the Utah Valley faithful. 83-56 is the final score. Utah Valley on top of Weber State. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker with you. Thank you for joining us tonight on UVU TV. It was a wild one, Holton. And the last 5 minutes of that first half really set the tone for the rest of the ballgame. Akolda Manyang, season high, career high, 25 points. And he almost had a triple-double. He was just 4 blocks away. But, man, what an impressive outing.
And it really seemed like that, spurt that they went on was when Chapman went out with his foot injury, and they just had no answer down low for Manyang. And then as Manyang got going, the entire team started to get going from the outside, and obviously what he did from the interior.
Let's take a look at some of those highlights from the game. Another in-net pass. Again, Akolda Manyang, you see the big points, but what you don't see are those little, the nimble plays where he goes up in the air, catches a ball from Brandon Randolph one-handed as he's running, catches it 2 hands and lays it up.
Yeah, he attracts so much attention down low. At any given time, there's 2 or 3, opposing defenders around him, and his ability to catch passes out of his area is, prolific, to say the least. And again, we see Harding there, really the only Weber State player to get anything going than in Manyang with his Michael Jordan impersonation on that dunk. And then again, Kenneth Ogby had a great game as well. Both of those guys, key players that we mentioned to start. And Brandon Randolph, the floor general, got guys going as well.
Jake Toulson, another unsung hero. You hear a lot about Kenneth Ogby, Connor Toulson, Akolda Manyang, but Jake Toulson again another solid outing. Only finished with 6, but he had 6.6 rebounds, 3 of 6 from the floor. And again, it was just a huge team performance by Utah Valley, and another exclamation point, and it's a projecting point going forward as they go on the road against the tough Cal State Fullerton team on Saturday.
Yeah, anytime you have a dominating win like this against an in-state opponent, definitely something they're going to take confidence to. A road game, which will be tough down in Cal State Fullerton.
We're going to take about a week. Let's see, a 6.5 day break, and we'll be right back next week against Bethesda. But for now, we're going to soak this in. Final score from Utah Valley, 83-56 over Weber State. For our producer Mandy and our hardworking staff and crew behind the scenes, for Holton Hunsaker, I'm Brandon Crow saying so long and good night from Orem, Utah.
This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.